Hey everybody, welcome back to Around the Emirates podcast with Sara Mousa, where I speak to guests from across the UAE about topics you want to hear about. Today I'm joined by the fantastic Rasha Al-Tekreeti. Hi Rasha.
Hello, everyone.
So guys, Rasha's on the show today because she is an amazing person. She is the founder and creative director of Warû, which is an interior architecture and design agency that specializes in creating nomadic experiences. Definitely something that we all need to hear about. Please, Rasha, tell me your story and how you got started.
Well, thank you, Sarah, for the amazing introduction. Of course, happy to be with you on this interesting podcast. I feel like I'm a nomad, especially when it comes to who I am deep down. I like to explore and wander. I like hiking, used to do horse riding, a couple of outdoor stuff. And this is where I draw my inspiration from, actually. And like nowadays, the spaces we go to, they all have this kind of spirit. You feel like when you go to a space, you have different options, you want to explore it, you go to the corner, it's something different. So I was like, I want to design those kind of spaces, and I didn't want to be labeled as an office designer or a hotel designer only. So that's why I was like, I design nomadic spaces, and my company will design nomadic spaces. So it's anything that's got to do with studying the user experience, spaces that offer dining, could be for working, could be for mingling or sitting alone. So you can imagine it can be multiple spaces.
That is so cool. And obviously, you've created such a specific type of kind of design and architecture when it comes to kind of the word nomadic. What kind of challenges came with being kind of starting your own agency, first of all, and then having this specific focus for your agency?
Well, a lot of things, because before becoming a business owner, I was a designer, just a designer, a passionate designer. So I took a leap of faith at the age of 29, and I was like, okay, I'm not turning 30 before I start my own firm, because can I do it? Am I delivering projects? Yes. So can I deliver projects on my own? Yeah, I've delivered projects under like other firms, but I was leading them. So why am I going to wait for the right time? And what defines the right time? So took a leap of faith, quit my job, didn't have anything, worked on the brand, worked on the name. And then I started just connecting with people to get opportunities. Because mind you, I didn't even know how to draft a contract, what it means to look at terms and conditions of commercial agreements. So I learned everything hardcore from the concrete experience, which is the best experience. So of course it was quite challenging, because I didn't have the business knowledge. I did not do an MBA before doing it. But now looking back, I feel like it's the best knowledge because it was not academic. I was not sitting in a classroom learning what to do, but I was actually facing those issues and learning as I go.
That's really cool. I love the fact that you are sending such an important message to the listeners right now. You don't need to necessarily have that degree to be able to achieve your dreams. If you simply take the time to learn and almost do the research that you need properly, you learn mo more kind of with the on-hands experience than you might do with an MBA or what have you.
Yeah, true. I agree. And also, to be honest, it's like kind of knowing what you're getting into, but not exactly because it's unpredictable. You don't know until you know. So I knew that I was jumping into the unknown and it was not comfortable. And a lot of people used to tell me, I remember a lot of my friends used to say, "Oh, I wish if I had the confidence you do." And what actually happens is that you do doubt yourself on daily basis sometimes, especially at the beginning. So it's not like you wake up confident saying, "Oh, I can do it." No, it's a lot of struggle. It's self-control. It's actually discipline. It's feeling like I can't do it. I'm not sure what I'm doing, but you keep going because it's a decision you took. And at the same time, I'm not saying that everybody should start their own business, because to be very honest, it doesn't have to be that everyone should do that. Some people are built for it. Let's say some people just don't want to go through it.
Yeah, no, totally. I think it's obviously depending on kind of the person's path and what they're
Yeah.
passionate about, what their financial state is, if they even can afford to take a break and look at doing their own business. But it's really interesting how you're taking kind of the leap of faith without really having like obviously you had like an idea of what you wanted to do and you had the skill set, right? But you didn't necessarily have a full plan. The plan never goes to plan, right? So on that note, is there any kind of funny, surprising, or interesting kind of moment that happened in this journey for you?
A lot, actually. I don't know um, which one to pick. So early on, I guess, yeah, I'm not shy to talk about that. I mean, I'm proud to be young and successful, young, passionate woman. And 4 years ago, when I started the business, by the way, we're celebrating our fourth birthday next Saturday, and it flew like that. So, of course, 4 years ago, I looked younger, especially before the sleepless nights. So, walking into a room and I'd send the company profile with our work and like my work and a couple of other stuff. And then people would expect an old woman to come in. So then I'd go and they'd be like, "Are you here alone?" or things like that. So this was funny because you'd see, I was in a couple of meetings where the body language was like, "Who is this?" And then once I start talking, you like, you see the body language changing. You see them engaged, and it's like, don't judge me by my curly hair and young look, proud to have it, but it's what I've achieved so far. So yeah, this is like was when it was funny because I enjoyed seeing people's reactions and facial expressions change. Um, Funny moments, a couple of stuff. I remember a moment that was very dear to me where like I cried. I was in the elevator, I had a doctor appointment. I was leaving and I got a call from one of the sort of, let's say, design communities. It's called Design Middle East. So usually there are different awards entries and we submit and then people get shortlisted, then they win awards. There was an award category that was not published, so we did not submit for it. And I got a call saying, "Listen, we've made a category called Emerging Firm of the Year, and we need you to attend that night because we didn't see that you're attending. Make sure you attend." So I was like, "Sure, I'll see. I might be in Saudi." They're like, "Attend," and then. I wasn't sure what's happening. They're like, "Listen, you've been awarded Emerging Firm of the Year, so you better come and take the award." And like this literally put me to tears because I didn't even know that there's that category. So the surprise was double. And that's when you feel like, wow, you're being awarded Emerging Firm of the Year in the Middle East and North Africa. So it kind of like makes up for all the sleepless nights and all the tears and so on.
I bet. Wow, that's amazing. Well, firstly, congratulations on that. I know that it's probably a
Yeah.
little late, but well done on achieving something that wasn't even created before, and you didn't even have to submit.
Yeah.
Amazing, like that. That level of kind of word of mouth recognition as well is amazing on its own. So well done for that. And this brings me to my final question today for you, Rasha. If
Mm.
obviously you've discussed a little bit about kind of taking a leap of faith, you've talked about how being an entrepreneur isn't for everyone, but you have to kind of do your homework and make sure that you are teaching yourself along the way. Is there any other word of advice you want to leave for the listeners today?
Mm. I think a couple of things, but I want to say that it's easy to start a business. I mean, it takes a couple of days to do the trade license and so on, but it's not easy to maintain it. And again, I'm not like trying to say no to anybody. I would encourage everyone to have their own, again, if they know what they're getting into. But you have to know that it's changing your entire life and you have to compromise and you will be criticized from the closest people to you because everybody would be like, oh, you need to balance better and so on. So if you really want to do it, you have to know that you need to block all the noise, even from the closest people to you. You have to know that there will be a lot of anxiety and you have to be friends with your anxiety. I think that's the most thing that I really worked hard on and I'm still working on it, to be friends with my anxiety.
That is such an interesting phrase, being friends with your anxiety. And I never heard that before. Obviously, we all experience anxiety in some way, shape, or form, but to be friends with it and to accept as part of who you are, but to be able to manage it and be on good terms with it is such an interesting way to think. I love that.
Thank you. Because if you think about, well, it took me maybe my whole life to get to that, and I got to this just a couple of months ago. If you think about anxiety, it's like a negative thing, enemy, something that you're trying to fight, which makes it even like worse. And it's like a snowball. And I've suffered from this quite a lot. I'm sharing this openly. When I got to a point where I'm like, yeah, it's a part of who I am. And then if I'm friends with it, it could be better because we can talk. Because with your friends, you have a conversation, you
Hmm.
communicate, and you try to come to a solution. But with your enemies, you don't even want to listen. You know what I mean?
No, that's a really cool way of looking at it. And thank you for being so candid. Thank you for sharing your incredible story, for talking all about you and what you do. And I'm super excited to kind of see what comes next for you.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me.
Thank you. Take care. Bye.